Hello and welcome back for some more Red Reborn. We're here in Three Barrel Cove at what looks like dawn. It's a dodgy looking ship just cruising in to the harbour under cover of the darkness, probably laden down with plunder and exotic spices from faraway lands. So, gear wise, very similar to what we already had, all the face stuff, but as promised, I have added the boots so we're not messing about with clicking things anymore for speed. So they come from the kind of a big deal quest in the 12. Very nice quest for both these and the, if you don't have like a random loot shield clickable, you can get the sapphire studded buckles out of that quest. The heroic version I think is minimum level 6 and has a 5 minute duration, three clicks you get of that. And the epic version is level 21 I think, with a 21 minute duration, so enough to see you through most quests if you don't happen to have the shield spell any other way. So yes, that's it for the gear. I did consider the raptor necklace for the relentless fury and other nice things it brings, but we do have relentless fury on the belt, so at the moment at least I'm leaving it as is. Still no glasses for our poor intrepid explorer. We're just going to have to make do. Feat wise, we've got insightful intelligence, which is giving us, instead of dex, we've got our intelligence score now to reflex saves. Not really necessary at the moment because there isn't a big difference there. But on reaching the cap, and I do plan to try and show you some questing at the cap with this build, just to show you what it can do and compare with the old standard bow build. The intelligence might be around 80 and the dex probably below 50, so there will be a significant difference then and warrants taking that feat, I think. Spell wise, we picked up for level 3 insightful damage, so now instead of intelligence to hit, we've got intelligence to damage with that spell. Remember what I mentioned earlier, you can't stack the two, so we couldn't, although we have both of them, we have intelligence to hit and damage, we can only choose one. So because this damage one is, well, it's more important anyway to us, but the damage one is higher up in the tree, so I don't suppose that really matters either. The damage one is more important to us because at the moment our crossbow, you can see there the attack mod dex +5, but there's nothing for damage. I wonder if I cast that now, will it change that? Yes, look, damage mod now, int 9. Can I just point to that? There you go. So int 9 for damage. It's just up to me to remember to refresh that when necessary, because it's on a fairly short cooldown. So that also means we're not in that much of a rush to go into the harper tree. We don't have know the angles, but that's not that impactful, I don't think, in the early levels, because our intelligence bonus isn't that high anyway to profit from that. So we'll just leave that as is and keep pushing into here. As you can see, we've got the third core now here for level 6, so a bit more spell power if the rune arm is charged. So there is an advantage to leaving the rune arm fully charged and not firing it off all over the place. So I have to bear that in mind, because our imbue benefits from universal spell power. Otherwise, I could and probably should have kept the points for getting Fusillade as quickly as possible, but I've started to build in the extra imbue dice because I found myself with one extra point there, so I just thought, why not? We'll be taking everything up here apart from the intelligence in due course anyway. If I had more points to spend, I would take the intelligence too, but I think points are a little bit tight in this tree. And yeah, this line in particular, look at this. We've got double shot and bonus imbue dice. Can't really go wrong with that, can we? Okay, I think that's about it for the update. Let's. Oh, it's just reminded me we've got no ammo, so let's get that done. And let's get stuck into some 3-barreling. I should mention that we got brutalized for the second time, again by a red crown caster, this time in the last quest of the salt marsh. The big long thing, the Dunwater. Oh, let's have the live dice roll. Yes, no, maybe. Oh, wonderful. Okay. A damp squib. So yes, a red crown caster in the danger at Dunwater. Those shaman, they really don't mess about. They were doing 100 plus damage every hit. The damage over time was severe, and even though I did jibbers up one time, I couldn't deal with the pain they were dishing out. So in the end, sadly, I had to give best in that one. I'm just remembering, I'm pretty sure I did transfer. Purple picked up some, doing some involuntary slayers here. Purple picked up some braces of invisibility, and I'm sure I transferred them, didn't I? Okay, let's recall. I wanted to show these, if they'll let me recall. Something's shooting, but they're getting a lot of misses for our armor class. Hopefully this will continue long enough for us to recall. Yeah. There's a bank up here, isn't there? I'm sure I left them in the shared bank. Yeah, that's the raptor necklace I was considering equipping. We have Seeker anyway on the armor here, on the docent, so we're not really too fussed. And deception only would work for a sneak attack, and as we're the only one in the quests and the only one attacking, I don't think we're going to get many of them, so I'm not too much in a rush to equip that. But this here, I think that must have dropped as a quest end reward, an end chain. Well, look at that, 5 charges of invisibility. So on a class that can't natively cast it, I know it's level 5, so we can't use it straight away from the start, but even so, that's pretty awesome. And as one of you encouraged me to do in the past, for running through wilderness areas unmolested, that's what made me think about it there when we were getting mauled. I thought we could just do with an invis here. I was trying to get to the fire caves. So contrast the mauling we just got with what's hopefully going to happen now. We should just be able to go through relatively unscathed. Just make the journey that bit smoother. So yes, if you come across one of those invis clickables, do hang on to it, even if you don't want to. Oh, have I? No, that's it. Even if you don't want to use it, I'm sure you could get some decent shards for it on the auction house if you wanted to. So yes, much more serene the progress now we've got the technology.
Heat and steam rise from the cave entrance before you.
Right. So just to reiterate, you can have this personal augmentation, it calls it. So insightful damage or insightful to hit. plus a weapon augmentation like enchant weapon, elemental weapons, or later on deadly weapons, but you can only have one of each.
The air here is hot and stinks of brimstone. Vile fumes sting your eyes.
See if we can just leave those ooze behind, because I had an absolute disaster in one of the quests recently with some ooze. Of course, the piercing damage we do splits the ooze, and they became an absolute writhing mass of stuff with reapers all over the place, and the only thing that saved me in there was the rune arm. So I don't wish to see that repeated unless absolutely necessary. I think the ooze are coming. Oh no, it's the ogre. Okay.
On a ledge, high above the lake of magma.
I have to remember I don't have...
Unholy.
Oh, I do have Featherfall. I have Featherfall on the boots at the moment, don't I?
The altar of the first
Yeah, that AoE really proving its worth now, isn't it?
The dragon below awakes.
Okay. So making liberal use of caustic shot and the what's it called? This shatter defenses AoE. And between those two, they're doing us proud at the moment for a bit of outgoing damage.
The second altar breaks, and you feel a faint tremor below your feet.
Okay.
The dragon stirs.
I commonly forget to pull these. A speed boost down here would have been nice as well. Just to reiterate, we do get in the top tier of the battle engineer tree a little bit of a speed boost, 10 bonus, but as it's an action boost bonus, it won't stack if you have sprint boost as well, or the purple dragon past life thick clickable thing, which I must say is one that I'm really enjoying on purple for just hurrying up yourself and your party a little bit.
The air grows more stifling. The sulphurous stench more nauseating. The heart of the mountain lies ahead.
Is this ooze? No, these aren't ooze, are they? Okay. Nice. Oh, we left a crown, that's not good. Oh, come on.
A howl greets you from across the chasm as Make-Murab falls. He shouts something in an elf.
That's where it's handy to have a ranged character. You can just batter the things from distance and not even need to go down there. Have any of you found one of these card cleansing things that are supposed to be super rare and can drop in any chest? I think one of the bear party has found one. I certainly haven't. I haven't seen anybody
Heat
pull
and
one either.
steam rise from the cave entrance before you.
But from what I could gather, at least around the time when they first came out, people were happy to pay an Otto's box for one, so they must see them as extremely valuable at the very top end of the game. I don't quite get it myself, because the gear, you know, with the power creep and the new content and all that. Oh, I've not spoken to the person back here. The gear with the power creep and new content will be outdated soon enough, so all the effort they put into getting just the right curse on the gear, I would think might be better spent. But who am I? I guess I'm somebody who's not pushing the higher limits of the game, so there is that.
Heat and steam rise from the cave entrance before you.
One thing this Arti build is very good at is destroying the pirate ships in the final quest in this chain, on the epic version, the precious cargo I think it's called. He really makes a mess of those.
Now they are sweltering. The air itself seems on the verge.
Is that ooze? No, it's not. Nice to see we're still getting plenty of misses. So what do we have at the moment? Armor class 59, not terrible for the level. Nearly 80% miss chance. Saves are looking half decent. The con and intelligence are okay. And the resistances aren't that bad on the three main ones, so yeah, we're in a reasonably decent place.
The voices of the ogres are silenced. Now there is something even more ominous. An old and mighty anger you can feel through the door.
Get that crown out of the way. Thank you. Yeah, I think we could probably stand there for some time against the rank and file, but against the red crown, definitely not. That's the time where you're glad you're arranged and you don't have to be face to face with it.
The grinding of stones and the crackle of flame fill the air. In the haze, things seem to move. The elemental collapse.
We've got everything there. Ooh. There's a bit of a theme running through this one, isn't there? Of kind of repeating the same version, just slightly differently. The fire caves and the Gal's tomb both have that. And still, it's not as extreme as in Tangleroot, which uses, if you don't know Tangleroot, the whole thing uses the same map, just gradually adding little bits, extra areas for you to go and explore.
Again, you have triumphed over the elementals. Make Moore summon. Only one more remains in the depths. Another elemental lurks ahead, watching you with eyes that smolder like dying stars.
I was contemplating showing Tangleroot for this one. Last minute decided not to. I think aside from anything else, you can't set Reaper difficulty for that one, so the challenge would be fairly minimal. probably limited to avoiding the chase from the big spider when you have to destroy the Whisperdoom's egg sacs. If you didn't know or haven't done the quest, one of the quests has you confronting an almost unkillable spider, and she ends up chasing you all over the place until finally you get to back to the sort of the main meeting room where she stops. I think it's because she can't fit through a door. In the old version of the quest, you used to just duck round a corner and finish out, but now she's not happy about that. So if you're in a party, the others can escape, but the one who has attention of her has a bit of a fun time. Dodge, wow, this one's made of stern stuff. As is this one, look. He had 2 lives and the first one just refused to be hit. Another one coming. Dodge that. Right, now there's a tradition on this channel. I say something and it kind of comes to pass. Like I mentioned, falling off the high area in Beautiful Nightmares in that quest with the bear, and so it happened. So I've just mentioned the card cleansing thing, so surely we've got to be odds on to find one here.
Waves of baking heat wash up the tunnel, and with them all over the fire caves, Method's voices cry out in despair.
I see that attack, even against a single boss target, having some mileage, because if we can remove some of its fortification, maybe it gives us a better chance to crit on it. And as we're firing 3 shots, maybe that's 30% fort removed if it fails all the saves. So that's not too shabby. I think we should end up with a reasonable fort bypass on this character anyway. Oh, I can't, you know, trying to use the teleporter when we haven't been to any other places. That's just typical of me. Dawn has broken now and we have looking down into the bay on a nice sunny day.
The crow's nest is strategically placed to detect ships coming in and out of Three Barrel Cove. The Weeping Cove is rumored to be a resting place of Two-Toed Tobias, an ancient three-barrel legend.
I think he could push a bit higher were it necessary, but more risk for very little reward, and I've kind of learned my lesson with that. Unless we were absolutely crushing the content, which we're not.
The cacophony of wailing and moaning becomes clearer as you enter the cave. An opening in the ground reveals another body of water to explore.
I remember that section being a bit fiddly for me when I first started trying it.
The valve
Trying to
triggers a
see where
rush
that
of
little
water
hole
from the
was.
pipes, followed by the sound of a door opening.
There's plenty of places, if you happen not to be Warforged, like here, to just pop up and get air, so it's not like you'd be having to hold your breath forever and run into trouble with that. Just have an eye on the breath bar and I'm sure you'd be fine. Okay, now Now we don't have evasion, so we're going to have to go and disable the
pushes against you.
sonic traps there. If we did have evasion, I'd be confident of just swimming right through. I've been known in my more absent-minded moments to swim right through and forget that there's another party member behind who doesn't have evasion, and they go banging the traps, and I'm thinking, oh, why have I done that? So the new technique, underwater swimming, kind of paddling along with the crossbow. It's a specially modified crossbow for maximum water displacement. A little bit of multitasking there for you. Blew up the pirate and the breakables in the same shot. Oh, I've just realised I wondered why we were doing so well against the Reapers. We're actually on the wrong crossbow. We're on the one with the ghostly or ethereal on it.
Close ahead and behind you. You fear that you are trapped.
Not that it's a bad one. If any of you watched the previous series with the bear, it's the one we crafted for her at this around this level, which she used to very good effect until 10, I think, when she switched to the Barovian one. We're doing quite nicely at picking our moments for the AoE and getting some really good use out of that.
Cervantes, two-toed Tobias's first mate, has been returned to the depths.
Oh, now we'll have trouble. Let's switch over. Yeah, I think it's at the next level 7 when we get the Isle of Dread equipment coming. We're going to have Ghostly for the first time on our gear. I do plan to do the Feywild, so I will be looking out for the Necro mini cannon, just to give us that option if he decides he wants the if he wants the Ghostly a couple of levels sooner while leveling. Raid, as I mentioned, is a dedicated ranged character. He's been a bow build all his life and was basically built as an experiment just for me to see how the bow mechanics worked. And from what I've seen so far, I think he's got every chance of staying as an artificer. He's a lot more sociable. No, that's me that's unsociable. He's a lot more survivable, I meant to say. Soloable, maybe, in this Arti build. And also a lot more used to the party in general. Between the positive energy infusion and the radiant force field that he can give to a tank, and the deadly weapons he can give to any melee or ranged, I think there's a lot more party potential there than your standard bow build would have, which is pretty much just sit at the back and pew pew and not really much of anything for anybody
The
else.
second valve triggers another chain reaction, which opens the door to the rest of the dungeon.
Where am I going? That way. Oh wait. Am I even going the right way? Yes, I am. Oh, hello. Now this is, look at all the misses we're getting because I'm on the wrong crossbow. If you wonder why I don't run the anti-reaper one all the time, it's because this one we're using at the moment has Vorpal on it, and I'm not even sure Vorpal drops anymore on random loot. So as we fire so many shots, there's so many chances to trigger the Vorpal and just instantly delete something, as might have happened there. Come on.
Levers appear on opposite sides of the room, adorned with bullseyes.
Oh, come on, this rune arm is dysfunctional. Why aren't we breaking everything? Finally.
As the lever flips back, the floor opens. The door before you opens as if you were
So that's a nice illustration of how handy the... actually, you'll see an even better illustration later in this chain of how handy the Sprinties or any exploding shot rune arm can be for breaking boxes.
although it is doubtful that anyone will believe.
Right, come on, we're going to open this and we're going to find one of those special card cleansing devices inside as a reward for our efforts. Ah. Actually, I'm saying I want to find them. I've only ever had one Otto's box in the game, which one of the Bear Party was kind enough to gift me for Christmas, and it's still there, just waiting in case I make a howling mess of any build and need bailing out of it. So talking about the Strintis hand cannon rune arm that we're using at the moment, this location here, just in front of the entrance to Gal's tomb, is where, if you just hang on for there you go, he's there, look. Just clear this stuff out, and you never know. Not this time, but it is a fairly easy farm, that one. I think he's always up in this area, so just bring, if you want it as easy as possible, bring a legendary character and friends and just stroll down there and open a few chests, and I'm sure you'll get the thing sooner or later.
A cave extends deep into the rock behind.
And the nice thing, as mentioned, about that rune arm is it's craftable, so I've been able to get our electric spell power and a bit of extra general spell power on there. Speaking of which, let's just see where we're at now. So quite respectable, 148 for electric. So our imbue will be doing alright out of that, especially once we can put another couple of dice on there. This quest, I remember the Eternal Flask of Free Movement, or any other source of freedom of movement, being particularly valuable. The number of times I was held by the warlocks in here and just unceremoniously dumped. Jellies I'm going to leave. I don't want to split those things. I'm not sure I would, because some of them don't split, do they? The ooze and things. I'm not that much of an ooze student to know what can be shot and what not. But I'm still having nightmares about that situation with the monstrous pack of ooze that just all but wiped me out. Forgetting to burst the eggs is another source of angst for me. There you go, freedom of movement triggered. So he was trying something really nasty, and without our Eternal Flask we'd have been stuffed there. So the Eternal Flask, if you didn't know, comes from the Mysterious Remnant vendor in the Hall of Heroes, but is only available on those specific Champion Hunter weekends. I would definitely recommend the Freedom of Movement one over any other, because Death Ward, there's plenty of clickables, the best one being this Skullduggery Cap from Saltmarsh, in my opinion. Displacement, well, it's on quite a long cooldown, and later on you can get, if you really want displacement, you can get green steel displacement clickables. Stone Skin, I suppose it's a bit of a gimmick for powering yourself up at level 1, but other than that, I don't bother with that flask. Those two have caused me endless trouble. I would walk into the room, immediately be frozen, and just death would shortly follow. One thing you can do against that kind of stuff, if you don't have the freedom of... See, it went off again there. They do like their hold spells in here. One use only, the Harper pin, if you have it, from Harper Favour in the Evening Star quests. That can break you out one time on a 5-minute cooldown, I think. But better to have the flask. And the good thing about the flask, which I think we're seeing already now, look, it's still got 9 minutes left now. It's a 10-minute default duration. So already our Arti levels are beginning to give us extra duration on some of these clickable items, which is lovely. I think when we get to the cap, that flask ends up lasting 15 minutes. And anything actually that is clickable, like the Greater Heroism belts, is it Chaos Gird from the Zorian Cipher, those end up lasting 16 minutes. So they go from sort of having to be renewed mid-quest to lasting the entirety of most without needing to be thought about, which is great. That was a bit dicey. I do have some potions of jump. I should have used one there. Let's not forget the eggs.
Chief Zop, progenitor of the eggs, has been slain.
I think that might be the first time I've hit the heal key, so we can't be doing that bad, can we? Ooze, no
Through
thank
the
you.
arches lies the way to Grey Garl's resting place. Red Tom and his lot never made it this far.
Okay, these could be a problem. Got ooze coming up behind, one of which is a red crown. Oh, crikey,
The
come
last
on.
of the troglodyte's eggs.
Crown casters. Let's try and bust the last of the eggs and at least complete the quest. And then let's do an experiment here with these ooze. Oh yes, they do split. So I'm totally justified in avoiding the little buggers.
Slime, the last of the troglodyte's eggs ruptures. The breeding grounds are destroyed.
Okay. So yes, I think there was ample illustration of my point there about the freedom of movement. Umpteen times there, the symbol flashed up, didn't it, over the head, the white
Our
symbol to
cave
indicate
extends
it had
deep into the
protected
rock
us from a
behind
spell.
this waterfall.
Thankfully, this second visit in here, although I think it's one level higher, is much easier, in my opinion anyway.
The feel of this place has changed. The air is
Let me
strangely
try just
cold,
running away from these things.
and the scent of old decay has replaced the troglodyte's musk.
Oh, oh, red crowns. I really shouldn't be running away from all that. Especially as they can see me, the red crowns can see me.
The chill flows
Oh
out
god,
from
more
behind
ooze.
the
Just pull the
falls,
levers and get
so
out of here.
strong
I'm going to
that
create a
what makes
dungeon
your feet
alert here
numb
if I carry on
cold.
like this. There we go. Run, 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 run. Right, let's... do we want to try and kill those, or do we want to get in here? I think I'm going to get in here first if I can. Oh,
A
Reaper!
grating whisper lifts out of the dark from beyond the wall.
Now, there's nothing actually in here. So if we can get to these levers and just get out of here... I wouldn't recommend doing it that way, but maybe maybe we could get some use out of these braces in this life. Oh, who's that? I thought you were a bit quick to be an ooze. Let's try again. Does he see us? No! See ya! Now, do they see us? They know there's somebody about, but they didn't see us, did they? Go on, run, 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 run. And I know there's nothing in this room. All we have to do is pull the levers. Oh, a Reaper, okay. Can we just pick you off from here? Oh, what have I done? How many misses? Just change the weapon, you muppet. That's a very good example of me being ridiculously stubborn. Why didn't I just change the weapon? It just goes to show as well how much you struggle if you don't have a means to get round there in corporeality. And for some reason we're still classed as being in combat here. So I'm not getting the full use of my heals, which is a bit annoying. I think there's a welcoming... Oh, right, I am switching this time. My word, he almost killed us. And that thing might well do. Goodness me, okay. Calm down now. Can I please have a proper heal? Nope, it's not going to do it, is it? Alright. No ooze. Oh my god, it's
The
ooze.
whispering voice speaks again. Go back, fool.
Go back. No.
Every
Only way is
step
forward.
you take only hastens your doom. The air here is so cold that frost rhymes the stones. The chill seems to have come from beneath the water.
Just grab the key and go. Oh, I can't grab the key. Oh, and there's a Reaper. Oh, this is going to end really terribly. I can't target it, the Reaper, either. Run, 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 run. Get your spell resistance thing on. Absorption thing on, rather. Kill him. Oh, there's a damn crown there as well. Come on, don't die now. You've got rid of the worst thing. I'm pretty sure the spell absorption thing saved us there, but it was still a complete mess. Okay, run. How to make a total balls up of a reasonably straightforward quest. Which is not yet complete, I hasten to add. We're still in trouble here, aren't we?
The lock on the door here looks complex.
All
but
that
you
because
might
I
be able to
insisted
open
on
it with the proper
missing out the first, so that there's a moral there somewhere, isn't there? If I'd have just taken it slow and steady in the early phases, not created the dungeon alert or tried to be clever with the invisibility.
This is Grey Garl's lost hoard. The whispering voice speaks once as the
We
chisel
certainly could still die here.
sucks the last warmth of the ruin. Old Grey
That's a
Garl
crown.
has come, bent on protecting his loot.
Oh, he's incorporeal. Use the other bow.
With a despairing
Goodness
shriek,
me.
old Grey Garl dissolves
Some
like a pestilent
suspense there I didn't
flame.
particularly want to
Flames in the
create.
air begins to fade.
But good TV, I guess. And I guess that serves amply to illustrate the perils of just running forward and trying to miss out half the quest. I think they've kind of got that covered, haven't they? At least for Muppets like me. So now we're going on to the one which is going to illustrate the box breaking potential of our rune arm, I hope.
A small building stands curiously
Right,
alone
let's,
in the center of the
Let's
cove.
not do silly things again, please. So freedom of movement could come in handy here as well. There's quite a few of those dogs that can spit the grease puddle or whatever it is on the floor.
Loathsome orc captain of the ill fates.
The trial will be treacherous. Be aware of every step you take.
Oh, no. What we got there? A camera of Ghostbane. I've just been talking about Ghostbane. Come on then if you're coming.
You have dismantled the rusty iron defenders. This is sure.
There we go, that's some serious box breaking potential. So that's the exploding shot from the rune arm. Unfortunately for me, my rune arm at the end game, as you might see in a few weeks' time perhaps, does not come with the exploding shot. So I have to, if I want to break a load of boxes, I have to give up one of my 2 AoE attacks to do that. Ooh, stay well away from those things. I don't know why I'm picking up souls. I hardly am using the mana at all, am I? At the point where we really needed a heal when we were struggling, just in case you wondered why I didn't hit the heal, with the Reaper nerf, I think we only get about 10 points or a bit more maybe back. I can show it here, can't I, with the enemy in close proximity. Oh, I think that might have been a crit, that was 20, so that would have been worth doing. But I suppose in addition to the low amount being brought back, I was also kind of running for my life, and the healing animation would have hampered that. Okay, featherfall is pretty much a requirement in this section.
Endurance will be paramount in overcoming this challenge.
I think this is another one when you're new to the thing, as we all have been at one time or other. I think we've all taken the fall down this shaft many a time, trying to suss out what was what. So aside from the problems that I made for myself in that last quest, I think we can see he's trucking along rather nicely. I got lucky with the Famine Reaper. I'd forgotten to swap back to the proper weapon. I think there's a case for saying I should just leave it like that.
The floor opens up to reveal an elaborate.
If you want to fall faster when you have featherfall, pressing and holding left shift will do that for you. Especially useful when you fail a teleport and you're suspended like miles above the marketplace. So there's the illustration of the box breaking potential, just clicking our little jump potion when I could quite easily have climbed the ladder, but the jump potions will come in handy in the next section, as I hope we will demonstrate. So this thing here, as confusing as it looks, just make like a staircase out of it. So we've got like one step there, another step here, and a step there, just so it lines up, so it's like a set of steps, or a zigzag or something if you prefer. Hit the top one, fire the lever,
This lever fires a dart
hit the other one to reset it, and then all you do is hit the bottom one and fire the lever again, and you're done.
The challenge was no match for your sharp
Oh.
wit. The portcullis rumbles open.
think he can be a bit tough, this
You hear
guy.
a metallic clanking
Oh yes, he is tough.
coming closer.
He didn't get past our armour class though, that's nice.
Sweltering
Now
rain
where are we at with the box
washes over your
breaking?
body.
Vandal, we still need a few more.
Inferno will take precision and cunning to
Was that it?
overcome.
Yes, okay. So 200 plus broken you need for ransack, so it does help to have a... Well, in fact, I wouldn't even attempt it without the power of the exploding rune arm. So here is where you need jump. The first time I went and ran the gauntlet was perversely happy when I got to the lever, and I just looked down and thought, well, why didn't I just jump up here up the side? If you... what jump do we have? 35 at the moment, so that is quite high, with 40 being the max. We've got 10 from our potion there, a bit more from the ship buffs, so our actual jump is maybe around the 20, low 20s. It's just very handy for avoiding all that stuff there. Of course, in Epic there's a barrier, isn't there, to stop you from doing exactly that. In fact, the epic versions of these quests, particularly the ones with the traps, can be pretty savage, so handle with care.
Penzance, first mate of the ill fate, motions for you to come over.
Run
and
for the
speak
loot,
with him.
the local tavern, double the share. We'll be looking for a swashbuckle. Oh, lovely. Okay, so if you didn't know here, the optional free meeble just gets you a little bit more experience, but then you have to do a bit of a fight. And that crimson key will get us out of the quest. I left you a soul glitch. Come on. I think we might get a little bit more of a trap bonus for doing this one. Yeah.
You survived the ghouls of Rackham's trial.
Okay, so I got my wish. A little bit more serene that than the mess that was the previous one.
Alone in the center of the cove.
That'll teach me to show off my new invisibility item. But I still say that's awesome. 5 charges of invis on a class that can't natively cast it is pretty damn good.
This mine has not been worked since the pirates first claimed the cove. It now serves to separate pirate from peasant.
As mentioned previously, you've always got to be a little bit mindful of running out of ammo, because unlike on the standard bow build, the conjured arrows are not like returning. You can and do run out, and if it's in the middle of a boss fight or something, it's less than desirable. This first section with the elementals, to me at least, is the toughest part of the whole quest. I think we had a couple of misses there. That might be a reflection of the fact we're still using dex to hit instead of intelligence.
Idol of Halak's legs are nearby.
Lovely stuff. That haste was triggered from the belt we're wearing. Black Dragon Scale Tacit. It doesn't trigger very often, but nice when it does. Of course I could be chugging haste potions to shoot a bit faster, but they have only a, what is it, a 30-second duration, so I'm not really wanting to click the button all the time or carry all those things around with us.
To the end of the drawbridge, then over the edge to the room below. The enchanted mosaic here leads the idol of Halloch's tail.
Forgetting to collect one of the pieces is another one of my favourite messes in this quest. Where am I going? Good question. I'm going that way. Took me a while to learn the path through this. The wiki is good for people doing it for the first time. Just gives you the sort of walkthrough. Initially, you'll find yourself having to refer to the instructions, and then once you get used to it, I think as with most things, you'll be into your stride. Right, fire shield cold. Very nice here. I must not have 100% to use that. Or if you're a warlock, temporary hit points. The jets switch off when you pull the valve there. Okay. These wheels, the codes are in the passageways leading up to them, or if you just want the quick solution, pull everything 4 times and the blue one once.
Here clearly control the portcullis leading to the room containing the idol's claw. The idol of Halloch's left. The idol is nearly complete.
Okay.
Only one piece left to find.
Let's go and attempt to brutalize this Minotaur.
Boss Karja collapses, cursing your ancestors.
Come on. Fights wise, I think this is the easiest of the whole chain, despite being a level 7, because they only come at you in 1s and 2s. It's just that the difficulty, for me at least, is in memorizing the way through. The key that we just picked up out of that Minotaur's chest is going to allow us to open this gate here.
Head is nearby. You have found the last piece.
And now all we have to do, if we had a DDO, we could DDO back to the start immediately. As it is, we're going to have to slum it and walk. This build does get a DDO from the Shadow Dancer tree later on in Epic, but you only at level, in fact level 23, isn't it? And then at 26 from the same tree we get evasion. Some of the builds feel a bit uneven in terms of the, you know, the spikes they get at certain levels becoming much stronger, and at others you feel like you're not really moving forward. This one I think is an
This
example
mine
of
has not been
sort of
worked
steadily
since the
building up,
pirates first
both
claimed
through
the
heroic
claim.
and epic,
It now
to
serves
something
to
that you
separate pirates
finish, well,
from
you
peasants.
increase nicely in power with all the little steps you make, and when you get to the end, it's satisfyingly capable. At least that's what I've found so far, and I hope to demonstrate that if and when we get there.
The current is drawn into an opening in the rock just large enough to wiggle through.
A thick fog rises up from the water as voices of pirates float along the current. Moonlight shines down from an opening above.
I'm not going to mess about with the invis. Let's just try and shoot them. If our equipment could trigger haste or stone skin, that would be a bonus. Stone skin, actually, I could probably... Well, the Arti gets it as a spell, don't they, anyway? But I could probably cast it from a wand from level 7. But just as with the haste potions, that seems too much like messing about.
A strong breeze gusts
Oh, hello.
through a crack in this wall.
Now then, this would be a good shot. Missed it. Let's go for that crown at the back.
Suddenly the clanking of wood and metal intensifies.
Next time, crowd closer together for my convenience.
You notice a lever on the back of the ornamental statue.
Yes, this quest has a trap in this area we're about to go into now. Blades that come out of the floor in Epic. And that trap has one-shot me on more than one occasion. Oh. Come on. Yeah. Nice illustration there. Of course I could have moved, but I didn't want to interrupt our archer's focus. But as soon as a red crown pops up, we just get absolutely chewed up, don't we? So be aware of them and dispatch them with extreme prejudice as soon as you see them. To me at least, red crown much more dangerous than Reaper.
Out to you.
So all this, I have done it in the past, and there is a guide in the wiki for completing this puzzle, but it's so long and laborious if you don't really know what you're doing, as I don't, that I prefer to just speak here, say it looks too complicated, and go into the other room for the pain-free solution.
Voice calls out from the back of the room. Please come in. I would like the Captain bellows. To deal with my operation.
You defeated the captain.
Nice job.
Is a legal smuggling operation.
Come on. Okay. I'm not quite sure what this lever does, but I pull it anyway. I think the lockbox gives us the key to that cage that the guy's in. And in here we have No card cleansing device. I think there's two that not normally hide round here, aren't there? No? Okay. Maybe that's only in Epic. I've been trying to hit this. Oh, there were two hiding. 3, 4 even. Okay. I've been trying to hit this thing. Determined to get rid of it. For reasons known only to myself. Stubbornness for the win. Okay. Good stuff. So aside from my silly experimentation with the invis thing, which nearly led to a death in one of them, I think we did okay there, didn't we? We've shown that the AoE is more than capable. I would much rather have something like that than, why aren't I recalling? Than, say, the IPS, which you've really got to struggle to line up. So, yeah, and looking forward to the second one arriving at level 12. Against tougher content where you're not just one-shotting everything with the one AoE. Leading with the trip AoE and then following up with the second one can often yield big dividends in terms of locking things down and smashing them up, which ultimately is the aim of the exercise, I guess. Okay, I think that's run on far too long already, so we'll leave Red to this nice sunny day at the Cove. See what curiosities this ship has when it finally enters the dock. Thank you very much as always for looking, and I will speak to you next time. Take care, and happy questing.